So, I was talking to young people these days. So, help me, young people. What kind of marriage do you have these days? What kind of marriage do you have? So, were you married in court? Were you married in church? Were you married traditionally, like lobola or some kind of other traditional marriage? What kind of marriage do you have? Let me know. Or did you marry yourself? That one is what is really interesting. So I found out a lot of people are just saying I'm married because I married myself. So what kind of marriage is that? So now are we saying that people are married just because they say they're married? So are people becoming lawyers just because they say so? Are they becoming doctors just because they say so? Are they just gonna be married just because they say so? Like, are you just gonna become whatever you say now? So that is a very interesting thing. Even Jesus Christ, he did not baptize himself actually. He was baptized by John the Baptist. John the Baptist had to be born before Jesus to prepare the way for Jesus, and then he had to baptize. And most importantly, is there a reason why you feel like you have to say I'm married? And you have a reason to say I'm married and just claim it without having to go to court or having a church minister, pastor, or authority do it? Why is it that you feel you want to say you're married but not have some kind of authority to do it? Is it the cost, or you just feel like there shouldn't be any authority to do it anymore? And then you feel like even if, as a Christian, you feel like you don't need that anymore, but you know that even Christ always had God as authority, and he followed a certain order. He even had somebody to baptize him. So what do you think about that? Well, when I say Christ and God as authority, I mean he had God the Father as the authority. And also, why do you feel like you would rather say you're married when you're not married, instead of like say I have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or I'm in a long-term committed relationship? Why has it come to the point that now people are just saying they're married when they actually haven't had an official or formal marriage? Now it has come to a point where like you might not even know if somebody's actually truly married formally or recognized by their country is actually really married. You might actually not really recognize that they're actually not married until you ask for their wedding photos. You'll be like, oh, can I see your wedding photos? That's when they'll be like, oh, we're not actually formally married. You'll be like, I don't understand. Then they'll be like, no, we're actually not really married. Then I'll be like, oh, so you're traditionally married then? Then they'll be like, no. Then they'll be like, so what kind of marriage did you actually have? Then they'll be like, no, really, we just husband and wife. You'll be like, what? I mean, this is something that was not something that would happen before. I mean, for example, in Africa, at least Southern Africa, that is not something that was before. At least a traditional wedding would have been, if it wasn't a formal wedding, they had to be at least something before somebody could claim someone is their wife at all. You could not just say somebody was your wife if they were not your wife in one way or another. At least they had to be traditionally married, if not formally, or married in church. So this is something new and something quite confusing actually, because you do wonder now, what is the significance then of marriage in that area or in those countries, or if it's happening internationally, what then are they calling marriage? Or is the world rebelling against marriage itself, including Christians themselves saying they're married when they haven't actually been married in church or court, which God has made government a sort of authority in. I believe churches might use actual Bibles in their marriage, I'm not sure. But what kind of marriages are people actually looking to have, and what is the point of saying you're married, and why do they prefer using the term marriage instead of just say what it is, a long-term relationship or boyfriend and girlfriend, for what really is going on? Well, maybe people could explain what they really feel about this situation as young Christians in this generation. All right, go on, guys. Comment. Well, one thing that I was thinking was that the probability of something like this happening is probably something that will probably happen in areas where people are less fortunate. It will probably happen to a lot of situations where women don't really have their fathers involved in their lives, or in situations where their fathers don't have a lot of money, or where the men might have more power, or maybe they have more opportunities than these women. Probably that's where this is happening more. I'm not quite sure. I haven't really done a lot of research on this. But I do know there are certain situations where, people are actually getting married, and where marriage is actually what marriage is and has always been. But then there are these situations where I've heard guys saying that this woman is my wife because I say so, not because I have married her in any way, shape, or form, so I don't really know, how this is going on. But I've talked to some women that want to be married, but, they have not got what they want from those relationships. But the men do claim that these women are their wives, but the women want the wedding or traditional marriage, but the men claim them as wives, but these women know they're not an actual wife in the way that they would rather have. So I've encountered those situations as well.
I got to have you by my side. I got to hear you when you call. Oh God, I got